love this time of year when, I think it's cow parsley, but it all comes out along the pathway into my allotment garden. It's so beautiful. It's making my eyes water a bit, but it's pretty. I don't normally suffer from hay fever, but at this time of year when all that cow parsley comes out, it seems to really set me off, and I just end up with like streaming eyes and sneezing all day at my allotment. I'm like squinting now, and it's not because of the sun, it's because of all the cow parsley. Does that happen to you too? Don't know. Ooh. Someone's got one of those cat things, those cat buzzers that deter the cats away. So I reckon Rocky's been visiting a few other plots around here and probably leaving them a little present. Look at these cornflowers, they're so much bigger than mine. Why is that, guys? Help me out. They're massive. Absolutely stunning. They're probably like almost as tall as I am. Mine are nowhere near that big. Hi everyone, my name's Emma, these are my allotment diaries. Would love you to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new to my channel. I vlog everything to do with my allotment garden, and I'm here today and it's a beautiful day. It's actually going to be quite warm today, but there's a lot of people here, and also there's a lot of building work going on behind me, so I don't know how this vlog's going to go. I'm going to give it a go. Luckily, most of the jobs that I'm doing today are going to be things I can kind of film myself doing from a distance, because I need to do a lot of weeding, I need to cut a lot of things back, and I need to plant out a few more tomatoes that I brought in my polytunnel, so a lot of it I'll be doing it in my polytunnel, so it's all good. How are your allotment plots going at this time of year? So I've got a lot of comments from you saying that weeds are really getting on top of you, and yes, in May weeds do grow very quickly and it can very quickly get on top of you, and it can make you feel like your allotment plot is just completely out of control, which can be really difficult, especially if it's your first year. You kind of feel like you've already lost the plot, if you pardon the pun. And it can just feel quite disheartening and stuff, and I completely understand. The thing that I would say is hoe over your raised beds regularly. Even if you don't pick up the weeds after, just hoe them so that you're keeping on top of the actual beds. Keep on top of around the beds as well, to stop all the foliage going into the beds, because that is a really great place for slugs and snails to hide as well. And then tackle your plot section by section. So if you feel like it's really getting on top of you, a few times a week you're going to go down and plan just to focus on one section, and that can be quite difficult because when you get there you're going to want to do all of it in one go and have it all perfect. If you just set yourself a goal of section by section, you'll find that it will become more manageable and you won't lose heart, and it won't get on top of you so much. Like, I mean like mentally get on top of you, do you know what I mean? Not physically, because that can be as much as a hard stepping stone as like the physical job of getting it, you know, under control again. But yeah, I would say just keep going, just keep plodding along, keep turning up, keep on top of those weeds as much as you can. Just do it little at a time. And don't lose hope, because a lot of people give up their allotments at this time of year because they just feel like they're losing. You're not losing, it's nature. It happens. Weeds grow. That's what they're supposed to do. So we're going to tackle some weeds now, I think, and that'll be our first job of the day. What I've been doing is weeding. I've hoed over some of my raised beds, and then I've just been cutting back some of the grass and stuff, and then around this bit here, which is where my raspberries are, I've just tried to extend the bed a little bit, basically, so that the weeds don't encroach on the actual raspberry area, and the sweet peas as well. But I do quite like over here how it's a little bit wild around the tree. I don't mind that. And then there's sort of my wildlife pond there. A lot of it around here I quite like being wild, and all the buttercups coming up and stuff for pollinators. I kind of like this area. I just don't want it to encroach on my actual allotment. I think it's nice to keep a little bit of wildness at your allotment plot, because you do want to encourage wildlife on there and stuff, and also it makes it a bit more manageable. So if I just say to myself that's the wildlife area, you know, I don't feel so bad letting it all grow up and become weeds and stuff. So, but yeah, it's going okay. I got a lot more muddy than I thought I would. Definitely didn't wear the right footwear today. I don't know what I was thinking this morning when I put these on, but this is incredibly muddy. I think I'm going to leave it at that for now. I'm definitely not as fit as I was when I first took on this plot. When I first got this plot, I would stay here for hours just cutting stuff back and digging stuff out, and now it's like 20 minutes in, I'm like, nah, I've had enough. Right, I'm going to plant out a few more of my tomatoes now. So I've got my twine, we're going to do the wall. I might put a little bit more peppermint down in there too. Actually, let's just bring the whole bag down. There are a couple of guys a couple of plots away from mine, and they're just staring at me like every time I walk through my plot, or every time I do something, not talk to the camera, just like literally do something at my plot, they kind of stop and just stare over at me. And I don't think they mean to do it, like I don't think it's intentional, but it makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. And like, they're not old guys, they're like quite young, and I think they've just taken the plot on, but they just keep stopping and just like looking over and just like stopping what they're doing and just watching me. And I'm like, why are you staring over at me? Makes me feel a little bit nervous. I don't think they're doing it intentionally. I don't think they're doing it, you know, like, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I just wonder if they know how uncomfortable it makes me feel. Like, how would you feel if someone just stopped and just stared at you every time you did something? And I'm like here on my own. It's just, anyway, I'm probably just reading too much into it, but it makes me nervous, that kind of thing. It is a London allotment plot, you know, I am in London right now, so, okay, I'll keep going. I'm just gonna lock myself in the polytunnel because that's not weird. Right, we're going to do the old tomato trick. The first thing I'm going to do though is replace this tomato, because unfortunately I just don't think he's going to grow back, and I've got better ones now that I can replace him with, so I'm going to replace him. Also in here it looks like I'm just growing a piece of bindweed. I put this over to kind of protect them from slugs and snails, but it hasn't worked. So that was a marigold, I think. But I'm definitely not growing bindweed intentionally in here. Let's remove all of that actually, because that is horrible stuff. That's a random radish that's come up out of nowhere. These are my leeks. That's how they're doing. Still look like grass. Right, so I've got some more varieties. None of them have got very big, and I don't really know why. They've always worked for me every year, but this year they're just not getting very big. This is a Crimson Crush. So this is quite a big tomato, I think. I'm pretty sure it's a really big, vibrant tomato, and I was really excited about that. So I'm going to plant that one in his place. No, maybe not. Oh, here come the power tools. Every time the weather gets nice, out come the power tools. This is another gardener's delight. These all seem to have germinated really well for me. I'm so sorry if you can't hear me, by the way. This one is a yellow one. Literally, I've just labelled it yellow one. So, don't know. I'm guessing it's a yellow tomato. And this one is a tomato steak. Tomato steak? A steak tomato. They look a little bit floppy. Like I said, they didn't get very big, but I'm going to whack them out now because it's time to whack them out, and I can't wait all year for them. You've got to get in the ground, guys. So we're just going to whack them in, same method as always. So this one will be replaced. I'm not 100% sure how to do this, but what we're going to do is we're just gonna do it. So I'm really sorry, mate. I know you probably would have survived, but you just look tiny and I'm just concerned. Hopefully the twine will stay put. You know what you are? You are a crimson crush. Right, in you go, Crimson Crush. Maybe he'll grow a bit better now he's out in the wild. Maybe he just didn't like being contained. Someone said, what will you do if this doesn't work? I'll just put some canes in, I think. I'll just do it the old traditional way, just cane everything. But I'd like to try this way first, because it might work. I'll put one sort of here, in the middle of the garlic, because I think the garlic will be finished before the tomato gets too big, is the idea. Oh gosh, it's so noisy out there today. This is not a peaceful day at the allotment, is it? At all. What can you do? Alright, tie our little twine loop. I really hope this method works, because I really just think it's such a great idea and I think it looks cool. I don't know if maybe the tomatoes be too heavy for it, I just don't know. Right, that goes in the hole like that. In you go, mate. Sakes. These ones are quite close together. It might be good just to move him over a little bit. Oh, will I ruin him if I do that? I think I have to, because I think they're just too close together. Let's see if we can do this without killing him. It'd be so much easier if I just got everything right first time, you know? I'm going to dig a really deep hole. Yep, okay. Yeah, just budge over. Nothing happened, mate. Nothing happened. Everything's fine. Right. Always better to move it when it's little, I guess, as opposed to when it's really big and then it'd be stuck there forever, so. That's a better distance, because I know they get really, really big, so that was worth doing, I think. I'm actually going to put one in the middle of this kohlrabi, and it seems really silly, but I think the kohlrabi will be ready soon. Where can it go? It can go maybe there, because once I pick the kohlrabi this will be a dead space here, so I might as well put something in there now. It's this weird transitional period now where things are finishing and then other things have to go in straight away, and it's just like, yeah, it's a bit of an overlap. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Give him a little kohlrabi friend to play with. Oh, you're crumbling, you're crumbling. Don't crumble. That might work. Right, they're in. Now I need to leave the safety of my polytunnel and go and fill up my watering can. And I'm a little bit scared. Oh, for God's sakes. Right. Go get some water. I'd just keep things real on my allotment channel just really quickly and show you the absolute state of my polytunnel now that I planted out like what, 4 tomato plants. I'm absolutely incapable of planting stuff out neatly or like doing anything and keeping stuff tidy. This is ridiculous. I can't even walk in here, there's just stuff everywhere. This is how I work. Yesterday we planted out brassicas. I actually stayed behind and I planted out the rest of them as well into the smaller one. All the brassicas are now out in the ground, in the wild, on their own, fending for themselves. So far, everything's been fine. So here are the other ones that I was going to plant out today. I actually did it yesterday, and then at the front of this bed I've got the cauliflowers that have been planted out ages ago, doing really, really well. I don't want to open this too much in case I let something in that shouldn't be in there. But yeah, they're all out. They're all out. They're all doing really well. I have this board, this wooden board here, which I put across like that to keep it keep the net nice and tight and nice and down, but somebody said it's a really good idea to leave boards like this around and you collect slugs and snails under them, and then you can like dispose of them, and it has been working. So I've got none under there today to show you, but I promise you I've been getting loads of slugs and snails under this board, and I've been removing them, and I think that's really been helping, so thank you for that advice. Another thing you can do is leave old pots in corners of raised beds and collect them that way, so that's just another idea if you want to remove slugs and snails, I think. Final job of the day. Now I love nasturtiums, but I didn't sow any this year because they tend to grow at my allotment plot like wildfire. They come up like every year now, so I planted them once intentionally and now they come up every year, but they're all coming up in the broad bean bed. So they've always been in this bed because this is my pumpkin bed normally. I've moved my pumpkin bed to here, and this is where I now want my nasturtiums to be, because nasturtiums are a great companion plant for pumpkins for many reasons, but here they all are coming up. So what I'm going to do is move them into that bed and hope I don't kill them. I've never done this before, but I'm assuming I just dig it out and replant it. Just like if I was like potting on or planting out, I guess. Over. So this is an unusual ending to my vlog. I've actually had to leave my plot because I ended up feeling too intimidated. So a couple of those guys came over and then they were like, well, come over and see our plot, come and have a look, come and have a look. And they're quite young guys, and I was just like, oh no thanks, I've got a lot of work to do. They were just like, oh come on, come and have a cup of tea, come and see our plot, we just want to show you this, that and the other, we've got this growing too. And I kept saying no thank you, and they wouldn't take no as an answer. And then eventually I like picked up my phone and pretended to answer a call from my husband, and I was like, oh, my husband's here to pick me up now. So I've just sort of left. I've left a load of stuff in my shed as well, which I really needed, but I don't want to go back. I'm a little bit freaked out, to be honest. I've never seen them here before, so I'm hoping it was just a bit of a random coincidence that we were both here at the same time, but oh, I don't know what to say about it. I mean, it is a London allotment plot, I have to remember that, and these things do happen, and you just got to have your wits about you sometimes, I guess. And I'm just going to go home now and have a cup of tea and do my home garden for a little bit. So I hope you enjoyed the vlog today. I'm sorry for all the noise and everything and the disruption. Hopefully I'll be back again sometime in the week to finish all those jobs off. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.